SpaceX shares stunning, colorful images of its Starship Flight 5 rockets from space. SpaceX has shared fresh images of its Starship Flight 5 test as teams in Starbase celebrate the booster's return to the assembly facilities. The Starship tests are the first of their kind to broadcast high-definition views of some of the most strenuous portions of the rocket journey courtesy of SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet constellation. The latest batch of images shows both the Super Heavy booster and the upper stage Starship in the foreground as the Earth's curvature is visible. They also show the second stage Starship spacecraft engulfed in plasma during its return to Earth. SpaceX shares fresh Starship Flight 5 images after historic tests since the upper stage Starship spacecraft failed to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere during the first two flight tests. Starship Flight 3 earlier this year was the first time the ship broadcast live views of plasma from space as it re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. However, these views were short-lived as the ship disintegrated soon during re-entry, and the next test, Starship Flight 4, was the one which made headlines as for the first time in spaceflight history, live views of a ship traveling through plasma were broadcast all over the world. While both the ship and the booster were destroyed after landing on Flight 4, Flight 5 was the first time that SpaceX recovered the booster fully intact through the tower catch. Now, moments back, the firm shared additional images from the test as they were broadcast to Earth through Starlink. They show the ship and the booster with the Earth in the foreground and capture the color of the plume and the plasma in sharp detail. Two images, one of the Super Heavy booster and the other of the tail end of the Starship upper stage spacecraft, show the Earth in the background during the flight. The image of the booster shows its landing pin on the bottom right. While this pin appears small, it is responsible for supporting the 232 feet tall rocket's full weight during a tower catch, and it worked successfully on its first attempt during Flight 5 after SpaceX caught the booster with the catch arm. The image of the Starship second stage shows its aft-end fin through a strategically placed camera. SpaceX carefully monitored the ship's flaps during Flight 5 since the forward, or top, flap of the upper stage had caught fire during its re-entry on the previous flight. This time around, flap damage was minimal, but some regions did catch fire. SpaceX has changed its flap design for future Starship tests, so it is more likely than not that the mishaps will be avoided. Starship upper stage's second image shows the ship engulfed in red plasma as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. This is the most stressful period during a rocket's re-entry since it requires the heat shield to withstand thousands of Fahrenheit of heat. The final image is of the Starship Super Heavy booster during stage separation. At the top, the rocket's grid fins are visible along with the engine plume of the second stage ship as it fires its engines to fly away from the booster and start its portion of the test.